And welcome back to the Utica Curling Club. Doug Smith here, along with Roger Rowlett, for a 2:30 semifinal draw of the 2016 playing of the Utica Curling Club College Bonspiel. Our feature game today is a C event semifinal between the Wildcats out of the Philadelphia area, Villanova, playing SUNY Polytech, which is otherwise known as SUNY IT for the local folks out there, playing here on sheet 3.
And Villanova has the last rock advantage in the first end. Lead rocks just in play. Couple stones in front of the house. Villanova attempted a come around draw around the center line guard placed by SUNY Poly. Came up a little short, wrecked. So there are 2 guards up front.
Let's meet the teams competing in today's event. There's the Villanova team from left to right. They're going to introduce themselves. We're working on that little technical difficulty. So let's get back to the action here while I work this out. Oh, I hit this is the one right here. I turned this one up. Let's try that again.
Skip for the team with Dave Spangler.
There's Villanova.
John Prosperi, skip.
Hi, I'm Maria Lynn. I'm vice.
Alex, I'm second.
Jed Dale, I'm lead.
So there's Villanova working from left to right. They're playing against SUNY IT. And here's the SUNY IT team working from left to right to introduce themselves.
Blake Hagberg, team skip.
Reland Twitchell, vice skip.
Aaron Bailey, second.
Elizabeth Simonelli, lead.
And there's your matchup. Those are teams competing today for the C event semifinal.
All right, coming up to the first of second stones. Villanova's hitting 1. Skip Blake Hagberg electing to have his second come around the middle to draw for shot, and this looks like it'll over curl and come up just a little short.
As you can see, 6 games going on the ice right now. Our live draw board, if you saw our YouTube channel, go to our website, uticacurlingclub.org, to keep up to date with all the matches. You hear that little tick sound? What is that? Let's see if it's mine.
All right, Blake going after shot rock now after the first come-around attempt, decide to try to cut down scoring chance for Villanova. This looks like it's a little tight. Might get the raise on this. And just not a lot of weight on that. Villanova continues to sit 1 on the side of the sheet. Villanova's going to attempt this draw through the port. This was just hanging out a little wide and a little light. Teams are struggling a bit with the weight in the first ends. It is a fresh scrape and pebble, but first end a little bit slow. So a few rocks left up and up out front. Third, Breland Twitchell is going to making another attempt to remove shot stone and sit 1 and 2. Stone was out there, but it's coming back nicely. And real nice weight, just enough to drive the shot rock through the house. SUNY Poly now sitting 1 and 2 without the hammer. I think this is going to force Nova into playing a hit and roll off that rock on the tee line. See if they can roll behind the corners. This one starts inside. Sweepers are working hard on it. I think this is going to just over curl. Just sneaks by the guard. Oh, it gets a little rub. But just enough to push it outside. SUNY Poly still 1 and 2. This gives them a chance for a free shot come around. Sitting 1 and 2, it's hard for the hammer team to score 2, so you can take a free shot here to try to steal one by drawing a stone around the guards. Blake's elected to throw this in-turn come around the left side. A little tricky to get your draw weight down here. First down, don't really know what it's doing out here. Definitely a little stiff. That one just gets close to the house. Not even sure that it's in. No, it's just outside the rings. Maybe got a little wide on that. Nova's going to go after shot stone again to see if they can get the roll underneath and set up a possible deuce. This stone's also quite narrow. Clips a yellow guard and actually pushes another stone in for SUNY Poly. They're now laying 3. The stone just pushed in is just partly exposed, maybe edge on edge. SUNY Poly's blue, Villanova is yellow with the hammer this end. Blake Hagberg, the skip, is considering his options. He's decided to ignore those 2 blue stones on the right-hand side. Very hard to use the top blue stone for a hit and roll because it's really just edge on edge with the yellow guard. Blake is going to play this out-turn draw again for the lefty, coming around the left side. Sitting 3 has a really good chance here to bury one on the top 4 around these guards and attempt to engineer a steal this end. This looks a little light. The line's really great if they can get it by, and it's just not quite enough. A little light. Over curl just a hair.
And I just want to mention that we have Tammy out there in the chat cheering on our IT2. We just opened the chat up. All you need is a Google account. You'll see it if you're watching on your computer. It's on the right-hand side of your screen. Or use your phone to monitor it if you're watching on a Chromecast or a streaming device, which I do at home.
Nova's not liking the opportunity to hit these blue rocks on the right-hand side. It doesn't really afford them shot rock. So they're looking to either raise or run their yellow. Looks like a raise. If you miss it, you'll probably open this up for a draw. Force SUNY Poly to regard the path. Perfect raise to get them shot rock. This is over curling again. And that's just going to open it up. Not a bad result. Opens up the draw to outcount those SUNY Poly rocks, but Blake is going to throw a guard. Cut off this draw path.
Michael says he's not sure he understands the strategy here. Raj, any thoughts on that? That's early on. 6-end game.
Yeah, I thought you could probably go after shot rock. You don't roll away too far, you might be shot, but it's easily removed. I think Nova was going for the raise there. Tough raise, though, a very long raise. But did succeed in opening up the 4-foot, but Blake can throw a good guard here, has a very good chance to steal. Perfect guard here would be covering probably a quarter of the shot rock. Cutting off the draw path to the 4-foot. Can maybe even cover half of the shot stone. Would be a really good result here. Basically have to try to cut off two options here, both the draw to the 4-foot and the hit on the shot stone. Hard to cover both perfectly. This one's going to cover the draw, but it's going to leave the hit wide open. In fact, now there's going to be a hit and roll. So that missed guard gives a get out of jail free card to Villanova. If they can make the hit and roll here, they'll get their 1.
So last rock of the end here. And number 1, our C event semifinal game.
Need a hit and stick here, and nose hit may not be shot rock. It's hard to tell from this position. They may need to roll inside just a little bit. And that's good enough.
Yep.
To score 1. Yeah, SUNY Poly had to half cover that rock to really have a chance to steal the end. So by having that guard over curl, they give an out to the Nova skip. He takes advantage, gets his 1. SUNY Poly with a hammer in the second end. Start of the second end.
Perfect.
SUNY Poly with a hammer this end.
And we'll make sure we update the scores on other sheets. We'll run down the rosters of the teams playing here in the 2:30 draw. No post yet on sheet 1. Sheet 2, we have RIT2 playing Yale. And RIT2 has just put up a 3 spot in the first end. Take a 3-0 lead. So, Raj, where's our other A final on sheet 5, right, going on?
Right, that's our other semifinal is RPI 2 and Penn. RPI has opened up a 1-0 lead in that game. In our feature game, Nova has drawn in with their first rock. Guard attempt came a little deep, back 8. And a freeze attempt by SUNY Poly is a little bit on the heavy side. It's going to go through. Nova's going to guard the rock in the back 8. Generally don't like guarding rocks behind T9. Makes them better freeze targets. Much harder to steal with the rock in the back of the house. Be tempted just to split the house with without the hammer here and sit 1 and 2, which makes it harder for the hammer team to score 2 unless they can get 2 rocks out with 1 shot. By guarding the rock, if you come deep, you create a double opportunity. If you guard it very high, you make it easy to freeze to that rock to set up a deuce. This would be a relatively easy double if you can throw, take out weight and hit this pretty much on the nose.
So just quickly running down the rosters, Hamilton 1 is skipped by Andrew Fletcher, Travis Roeder, Jackie Zingman, and John Zhang is the roster for Hamilton 1. Hamilton 2 is skipped by Nicole Saida. Also on that team is Nellie Green throwing vice stone, Sazra Hassan is the second, and Leo Weaver is the lead. And some Colgate love in the chat room.
And SUNY Poly clears the top of the 2 stones.
RIT2 over on sheet 2, that's Jacob Klaus, Alex Riley, Katie McMillan, and Mary Rose Weber. Playing the Yale team, Allison Goldberg, Patrick Wong, Michael Cohen, and Fabian Schrey on sheet 2. This is sheet 3, Kevin.
Villanova's throwing that guard again over their stone in the back 8. They're sweeping furiously to get this one over. I'm not sure this is going to have enough juice. And it's just short.
And we do have cameras over on sheet 4, so we will be able to cut over there for Skip's rocks, or if the game should end on sheet 3, we'll cut over there permanently.
Yeah, on sheet 4, Colgate 2 has opened up a 4-point lead in the first end.
Colgate 2 is Stephanie Warnkin, Allison Cibaldo, Drew Botter, and Cameron Pauly. Playing Bowden, Thomas Scarrow, Lauren Bostic, Kylie Best, and Amber Rock. It's the roster for Bowden.
So SUNY Poly was going to set up their deuce by freezing to the shot stone. It came up a little bit short. Stone's in usable position, but Villanova is still shot rock in the back of the house. Now Nova's going to split the house and try to sit 1-2. And you're not imagining things, but Nova did throw the wrong color rock, but
So for the people who might be new to curling, Raj, why don't you explain what happens when that...
well, they're just going to mark the rock, and they'll replace it with, they'll stand with their feet behind the rock, and they'll replace that rock with the correct color one.
You can see Blake there
Yep.
marking the position.
And then they have to take the blue one back because that's the one they need to throw.
Blake is a College Plus curler here at the Utica Curling Club. Means he can play in one of the regular men's leagues in addition to his college membership.
And he has his teams out here practicing probably at least 1 or maybe 2 nights a week. So they're coming along quickly. Well, because Nova came back to their back stone and they kind of tapped it out more into the open. So it actually makes a better freeze target now. In fact, Blake thinks they can see enough of this, they can just take it out. And if they take this out, they'll be sitting 2. Shooter wasn't too far off the broom. This is going to curl up. I think they're going to get a piece for sure. And they did. They're going to roll out, but that leaves Sunipali's shot rock up on the top 8. Nova will certainly go after that rock. Try to sit 1 and 2. And one of the basic strategies without hammer is to be sitting first and second rock in the house. That makes it difficult for the hammer team to score 2. So that's what they're trying to do here. This takeout is on a little bit of a light side, and it's going to over curl. That's just barely through the rings, if that. That leaves Sunipali sitting shot with shot in hand. This would be a great time to split the house. Yeah, Blake's initial thought was to freeze on that stone, but I much prefer this call, which is splitting the house to the opposite side. Keep your blue rocks as far apart from one another as possible. You sit 1 and 2 with hammer, and you're set up to score your deuce. This just needs to touch the 8-foot. The weight looks pretty good. It's pretty strong. May need to sit down. Yeah, that's too heavy. Just a couple brooms too heavy. Yep, Nova's going after the shot rock again. Skip exhorting the shooter to throw a little more weight to control the curl. These rocks will curl pretty hard if you throw down weight. It's much better takeout weight this time. Trying to hold this rock to avoid jamming the blue on their own yellow in the back. It looks like they'll be successful here. Now advantage back to Nova as they sit 1 and 2.
Nice shot by Maria Lynn.
Nice controllable weight that time.
Little different order from your roster, Raj, as far as the positions.
Yep.
Maria listed as second. She's throwing vice rocks today.
This takeout attempt is a little wide, but I think they're going to get the back stone. And that's okay. That leaves them sitting shot. Would have preferred to get rid of the top stone. That's a more dangerous stone because it can be raised and improved. Nevertheless, this is going to force Nova to go after it. I don't think you can really leave it. So you're taking a risk of giving up a deuce or more. Villanova's going to draw here, and if this is not buried and can be taken out, it makes it fairly easy for SUNY Poly to score the deuce by throwing a couple hits. Even if this is a successful draw for shot, it would leave Nova sitting first and third rock. And this one's not going to stay in a house. So this allows SUNY Poly to split the house again. To sit 1 and 2. They could ignore that yellow stone if they wish because it's not shot rock. Can be raised. But if SUNY Poly can split the house and sit 1 and 2 here, it'd be a very gutsy call to try to raise the yellow stone for shot rock in the face of 2 opposing counters. A miss there would allow SUNY Poly to score 3. So if Blake is successful in splitting the house here, I would expect Nova to go after one of the shot stones and limit the damage to potential 2. Have to stick this draw though. We have to hit the paint. Almost 8 foot. At least a bite of the 8 foot will be sufficient. They're sweeping this really hard. Blake's even come out to help himself. Has a chance. It has a chance.
Oh, they are
And it's going to be good enough. They carried that rock and they got the
Wow.
piece of the 8 foot that they needed. They're smiling. They worked hard on that to get it there. That's in a good spot. That's a tough double. That's a very tough cross-house double. To hit the shot rock in the front of the house and go across the house will take a fairly heavyweight shot.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
This is the right turn to throw because you'll get some live action off the rock that you take out. You're going with the rotation. This is probably, what, a 2/3 of a rock double.
Pretty tough, though, Raj.
Thick half. Maybe a half will work here.
Even if he just gets the rollover.
That'd be a good outcome. To
Yeah.
get the rollover for shot behind his own guard would be an excellent result.
Yeah, that looks just like heck weight.
Not sure. I think he's just playing the draw.
Oh.
I thought he was playing the double. That would have been what I would have thrown.
That's going to sail through, yeah.
That's going to go through. Yeah, I think you got to remove an enemy stone there. That's taking a huge risk to draw against 2 enemy counters, and you have to bury. If you miss that shot, you can drop 3. Blake just has to repeat his last draw, really. He's just going to throw the draw to the pin. Good call. You have a lot of rings to work with when you come up the middle. The rings are thickest front to back, right in the middle of the sheet. The other option would be to play the same shot he just threw.
Yep. Last rocket in number 2. Blake Hagberg from SUNY Poly.
Sweepers
Looking
like
to
it. They're
score
not
3.
doing much with it. I think he's got enough weight.
This looks pretty good. Should dig in right around the 4 foot.
I think it's going to sit back 4. And well done. Draw for 3.
Yep, put
Elementary curling split the
That's right.
house and forced a mistake out of Nova and got his 3 spot to take a 3-1 lead after 2 ends.
So, Raj, talk a little bit about the SUNY Poly program and how they got started and some of the, they were brand new to
They're a brand new curling club in our area. Blake Hagberg is just one of our kind of longtime junior curlers and went to college here this year and at SUNY Poly and decided that he needed to start a curling club so he could curl with the college kids. And he recruited his entire roster of 2 teams worth of curlers. They're all first-year students, I think. And they've come a long way. The SUNY Poly 2 team is ensconced in the B event.
That's great.
And this is probably the most experienced of the 2 teams. They have one player from Utica College, Breland Twitchell, who's actually out of the Rochester area,
Mm-hmm.
who's trying to start a club at Utica College. So we could have 4 local Utica Curling Club college teams by next year.
And that's Breland.
That's Breland Twitchell, yeah.
She's
Out of the Rochester Curling Club, where she was a junior.
and she's listed. She's from Utica College then.
Yep. So right at the moment, if you look at the current College Curling USA standings, Colgate leads the pack and will probably almost certainly qualify for the Nationals. Hamilton College is in pretty good shape, just inside the top 16 teams that will qualify, and I think they're likely to qualify. And SUNY Poly is just hanging on the edge.
Yeah, we can actually have a graphic. Roger will put that up after the send.
As a first-year entry into this whole business, they have done very well, and I think they're on the cusp of making one of the last qualifications.
Yeah, they should. Based on, I mean, Raj has a live draw board up at our website. It'll tell you the points that are available. And if you go to the College Curling USA website, it has the current standings. And we also, as I said, we have a graphic. We'll show you. We'll break it down for you and show you all the possibilities.
No, we're certainly pleased with all of our local teams. I think this would be a first to have 3 colleges working out of one club qualify for the Nationals.
The Nationals coming up in March in Chaska, Minnesota.
Brand new curling club, beautiful facility. If you've never seen it, go to the web and look at it, and you'll be envious.
Yeah, I saw they were talking about it during the Nationals broadcast from TESN, and evidently for a brand new club they have over 900 members already.
Yep. And it is absolutely gorgeous from the outside and inside. So
that'll be a thrill for the college curlers to.
Too bad we won't be able to go this year because we'll be at the Briar. So
you're going to be in Ottawa.
Yeah, so the choice between going to College Nationals and the Briar really couldn't turn down the Briar this year.
Especially being on the East Coast. Of course, next year it's in Newfoundland, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. So
yeah, that would be. I'd always wanted to go up to that part of the country.
Right, so Nova removed one of those 2 stones
world,
that was buried on the 4-foot. So SUNY Poly's got a good steal opportunity here. They're sitting on the button. Need a good center guard here. Put some pressure on the Nova team to get their 1. If you're Stone Warren in this nice a position, you'd probably be happy to split the house and sit 2, give Nova the 1 this in, and get your hammer back. Up 1, but the SUNY Poly stone is right on the button, so why not guard it here? Go for a cheap steal. This comes a little deep and freezes.
4. Scoreboard's up today. They have not posted yet in our other Big A semifinal game. The winner of that game will be on our feature game. That game going on sheet 5 between RPI 2 and Penn. We already know 1 participant in today's 4:30 final. That will be RIT Team 1.
And Nova going to, again, remove one or both of these stones. This one is a little wide. Almost got over, just missed.
Sorry, didn't have the camera right before you.
This is a great opportunity now for SUNY Poly. They've got a rock on the top button and the back button. They can throw a good center guard on this. They'll have a really excellent chance to steal this end. Now, it sounds really easy to throw a guard, but when the rocks are really swingy, guards are very accurate guards are very hard commodity. Very hard to manage the curl. This is going to be a bit heavy. It's going to come right to the pile. They're going to have a big pile of rocks there in the 4-foot. And that makes a triangle of rocks in the button area. I think if Nova can hit one of these rocks, 2 are going to go. This one's also out there, but not quite as heavy. It might catch a piece. Did catch a piece of the back stone. So removed one. SUNY Poly still has an excellent pair of rocks in the button area. Again, a nice center guard here. Something just on touching the left side of the center line. Just left of center would be really perfect here. Third, Breland Twitchell. And this one was tossed out really wide. And a little heavy. And again, that's going to come right into the pile. That curled a long way. That curled almost 4 feet from out on the middle 12. Almost back to the center line. One more attempt here to move some of these blue stones. Missed a couple wide already. This one's going to be a little narrow. And that's going to move 2 out of scoring position, and that's a good result. Blake's going to call a guard on their shot stone. I'm not so sure that the best call would be to remove that yellow rock so it can't be used at 3. If the guard's not made perfectly, it gives Villanova a chance to score their deuce. Line looks better on this guard. It's definitely not light. And it looks like it's going to wind up tapping up the yellow a little bit. And not terrible. So it moves the yellow rock out of the 4-foot area. Does provide partial cover for the shot stone. It's in a good enough position that Nova feels compelled to remove it. There's a possible double if you can get on the nose. And that would leave Nova sitting 2. This one's also over curling, but it may take out the shot stone. Though it could jam, and I think it will. And when the smoke clears here, yellow is second, so Nova's sitting second rock. Poly is 1, 3, and 4. So if they can take this rock out, they'll be sitting 4. If they can hit and stick, and that will leave Nova with a difficult draw to the full 4-foot to collect their 1. Even a hit and roll out here would leave you sitting 3, forcing Nova to draw against those 3. Pretty important stone. You'd like to get this shot rock out so that Nova can't score a deuce. And this will get the job done. Did get a jam, but leaves SUNY Poly sitting 2, so this will still be a draw against 2. Or simply an open hit against the top stone would be another choice. A hit and stick on the rock on the 8-foot would leave you shot rock, and I think that's what they're going to do. Really the comfort zone of the skip. 6-1, half a dozen the other. If the rock's not in the 4-foot, some skips will elect to draw as an easier shot.
You know why I like to hit here, Roger? Because he's not. He probably doesn't throw a big weight shot anyway. Just his natural draw weight.
Yeah,
so.
and if you
Even
miss the hit, you give up. You know, if you miss the draw, you could give up 2.
That's correct.
If you hit this rock and roll out, you give up
Yeah.
only one. There's no right call here. It's what you're comfortable with. If he's comfortable throwing the hit here, then that's
Well, that's the one thing I
That's a good
noticed even
call.
at the elite level. Is this my feeling is people throw a lot of weight. You know, you see so many rollouts, things like that. Not that nice quiet weight, but this looks pretty good. It's a little wide.
He's wide,
Yeah.
but we'll see if he has enough weight to come back, or enough.
No,
He's down weight enough to come back, and I think he's thrown it out.
but that certainly would have been enough weight to remove it.
Oh yeah, and that was a nice. The
Yep.
weight was the right
That's
call because he's sticking around if he hits the rock almost anywhere.
So that's going to be.
That's the cheap steal of 2.
No, we're still throwing, I think.
Oh no, we've still got 2 more rocks.
Yep.
Well, certainly without, if that was in your last rock, you would certainly throw the hit to try to bring
Right.
a deuce back into play. I like tapping this up to be honest. A nose tap up to top button here would be good, or you could just draw around it. Yeah, Blake's just going to draw on and try to sit 3 here. Well, it's just a freeze, so now that's going to be a draw against 3. The hit's no good anymore, because you can't remove the top stone that's frozen. So this is he's gonna try it though, isn't he? He's gonna try the double. Not sure what they're playing. Now
Yeah,
they're gonna play the
there
draw.
we
It's gonna say the double's not there. So
Anywhere
SUNY
in
Poly's,
that area
forced
right
them into drawing against 3, and he's really got to come almost to the 4 foot here. Scoring area is pretty tight. It's got to be close on the weight.
Looks pretty good, Raj.
Looks really good. He's all over the 4 foot.
Yeah, it'd be a nice shot. Very
Yeah, nice
weight.
save. So mission accomplished. SUNY Poly got,
No, Villanova. So
or SUNY Poly forced
Yep.
Nova to take their 1.
and gets the hammer back. So let's
Just
run
the-
down the scores on other sheets if we could, Raj, real quick.
Sheet 1, Hamilton 1 has taken a 5-0 lead after 2, playing the third end against their compatriots Hamilton 2.
The Battle of the Continentals going
Yep.
on sheet 1.
On sheet 2, people are blocking the scoreboard there, but
4-3 I have. Any updates? Still playing the fourth. Oh,
yeah, it looks like it's still 4-3. Yale over RIT 2. That's correct.
They haven't
playing,
posted.
Playing the third end.
They are playing the third end. Okay.
Yep. On sheet 4, Colgate 2 is holding a 4-1 lead over Bowdoin. And make that a 5-1 lead. They just hung the score for the third end, playing the fourth. And we have a tight one going on our A semifinal. On sheet 5, RPI 2 took a 1-0 lead in the first. The second was blanked. And in the third end, Penn has taken a deuce to take a 2-1 lead after 3 ends of play, just now starting the fourth end. And on sheet 6, Colgate has a commanding 4-0 lead after 2, playing the third end now. That should get you up to date. And we're back on our feature sheet, sheet 3. SUNY Poly and Villanova. Nothing in the house yet. First lead rock goes through for Villanova.
Should we run down the master points? Merit points?
The merit points, sure. This is a big weekend for College Curling USA because this is the last weekend that you can earn merit points to qualify for the National College Bonspiel. Top 16 teams qualify. And we can see that SUNY Poly is holding down spot number 16, and they're, 3/10 of a point ahead of MIT, which is also in this competition. I don't think anybody else below them. Bowdoin is in the competition, but I don't think they can catch anybody. Or Bowling Green, sorry.
And then this was, I saw this on the website, they don't have enough people eligible? Is that what,
Right.
What does that explain? That?
They need to register with the USCA, I think. So they may have insufficient number of registrations to field a full team.
So that's Villanova you see here on our graphic down below.
Yeah. So our host schools here, Colgate, who's currently in 8th, and I think they're a sure qualifier. Hamilton College, that is 13th and is a likely qualifier, but they're not that far ahead of. Depends on how far MIT comes up.
Right.
And then SUNY Poly. The real battle really is between SUNY Poly and MIT. Whoever owns the most points in this spiel is going to qualify. I think SUNY Poly has a slight advantage. They have 2 teams in. So I think their chances are pretty good.
I see, because Hamilton has 2 teams as well, so they'll get multiple points.
That's right. You can earn merit points for up to 2 teams worth at a spiel. So Region 2 is doing pretty well, which is New York State, Pennsylvania, and the GNCC, which encompasses Region 1 and 2, will probably qualify 8 or 9 teams, which out of the 16, which is a good indication of both the power and activity of what's going on in the East. So curling is really growing in this area. Most of these curlers have only been curling less than 4 years. There are a few long-timers like Blake and
Cody Klauser.
Cody Klauser, of course, who's curled at the Nationals.
Just came from the Nationals.
Just came back, as a matter of fact.
Yep, so if you were watching TSN, he was playing for the Team Clausen rink, which I believe they were, I think they had 3 wins. I think they were 3 and
6.
3 and 6 in the round robin.
They beat some good teams in the process.
Yep, just the Dropkin
but came up short of the
the Dropkin
playoffs.
beat them towards the end there when they were still in the running. And the Corbett team had a local flavor here. Jared Widdish was the lead for that rink.
Former Utica player, and of course Derek Corbett practices at our club. I believe he's going to school in the area. Well, SUNY Poly with a hammer this end. They're trying to play out to the wings, of course, with hammer. You don't want to clog up the middle. And they just want to try to freeze to this yellow stone out here and use it as a backer. And they just, you didn't get enough curl, a little too much weight. The good news for SUNY Poly is the middle's wide open. That yellow rock on the 12-foot is really not much of a steel threat. It can be easily outdrawn. Villanova really needs to steal an end. I think their best shot would be to call a center guard here or something to hide behind. That rock on the 12-foot's really not worth guarding. Now, SUNY Poly could ignore the stone in the 12-foot and just draw around the high corner. Or they just come out here and hit this and sit 1. That works as well. Keep the game simple. So So they're going to go after this rock again. Not getting much curl in this direction with any weight. I think they've got to take a little less ice. Now Nova's got a guard to work with. It's a little bit high, but you can go around top 8 here and probably leave a pretty annoying rock that'll be hard to move. It's a draw attempt. It looks like it's going to be a little on the heavy side. Yeah, they're retro sweeping. And it never works, but makes you feel better. All right, so Blake has decided to ignore this stone on the 12-foot and just draw around the high corner. We haven't said this yet this game, but this is the first hog to the trough theory. First one in. Blake's trying to be the first one in here for a shot behind the guard. And Breland threw this way on out the outside in the frosty zone, and that's not even going to cross the hog line.
And guess what? Flannery Allison's playing in the finals, so I'll get to say her name backwards 3 times.
There you go.
A tradition here at the hog to the trough, though, a classic Rowlettism. Yep. We all love
I think I stole that from John Mielke. Guess he curls out of North Dakota. Old-time curler. That was his theory. Put up a center guard, first one around. First hog to the trough wins the end. And it looks like Nova got to the trough first on this one. It's a gettable rock. The guard is really high. It's easy to curl around. It's almost not in play. I think if you throw board weight hit here, it's I'd take a little more ice maybe there, Blake. But
so how long has Blake curled, Raj? Do you know?
He curled off and on for probably 2 or 3 years, and took a little hiatus to do some luging, and then he decided to come back to curling this year. So yeah, that just wasn't enough ice. They'll clear the guard though, which is not a bad result.
Luging as in like Aaron Hamlin's level luging?
Yeah, I was doing. I think was it
really?
I
think we have
doubles, luge doubles. I think.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
We have some bio. We have the bio sheets here somewhere. That one we'll put aside.
In fact, he was up there a couple Sundays ago, I think, doing some luge officiating up in Lake Placid.
MIT. Oh, here we go. Got theirs. And there. These are both of them.
Yep. And on Blake's bio, he's listed here of his interest, sports, luge, track, ultimate frisbee, and he circled curling.
Yeah, 7 years curling listed for Blake.
So he's one of our, unusual, more experienced curlers at the college level. We hope to see more of that as curling becomes more popular and more juniors go off to college, want to continue the game. So we have a handful. A lot of graduate students out here have curled for a while. I know Alex Hall for MIT curled for Colgate for 4 years and went to grad school and has curled 2 years for MIT.
See Rich Gray here again.
Yeah,
this
Rich
weekend.
Gray was here this weekend. He's actually curling out of the Potomac Curling Club, but he's no longer at a college. He's actually employed.
I asked him if he wanted to join us. He said he's resigned to just being an armchair behind the glass.
So a takeout attempt by Blake. This doesn't curl much on this line. I'm really surprised. Threw nice weight at this. He's just going to miss it. That just didn't move. Didn't overthrow it. Maybe just took too much ice, threw a little bit maybe inside out. Didn't move.
So into Skip Rocks now in the end. This will be it. Last two more stones to come.
Yeah, great opportunity for Nova here. Throw a good guard. Even throw one here, top 12, half buried behind the high guard and half covering the back rock
John
would be really
Prosperi,
good.
the skip. He's a junior mechanical engineering major. Been curling for 3 years. His interests are soccer and lacrosse, and he says say hi to his mother and father, Aldo and Blaze. Nova in real good shape in this end.
Yeah, again, if they can just get half behind this kind of edge on edge, maybe even with this guard. Oh, and it just picked. It just picked. That rock picked and is going to overcurl and leave shot rock wide open. So Blake will have a second crack at this. Kind of a replay of the first end where Blake had a great opportunity to force Villanova to make a tough draw against 3. Now because of the pick and over curl, Blake gets a get out of jail free card here if he can make this hit. Drawing against 2 with almost no chance to score without covering the pin, and he has a chance for an open hit to get his 1. This rock looks a little bit better.
This is the last rock.
Again, nice weight. This needs to curl. Coming up nicely. And well done. So both skips wriggle off the hook. Blake in this end and the Villanova skip in the first end to avert disaster. SUNY Poly gets their 1 to take a 2-point lead after 4 ends of play.
Good game, good back and forth going on in this game.
Very important to score this end. You want to score on the even ends, 2 ends before the last end. Keep in control. So SUNY Poly's job this next end is to get a force of 1 and then come home with the hammer up 1. Worst case scenario, if they give up 2, they come home tied with a hammer, another good position to be in. So SUNY Poly takes control of this game, but they still have to convert 2 ends to play. Well-matched team. Well-matched teams in this game.
Okay, here's Liz Simonelli for SUNY. She's a freshman. She's a psych and comp sci major. Just been curling 1 year. Her interests are tennis, curling, and bowling. And she says, say hello to Bernie Sanders. Coming off the 22-point thumping of Hillary up in New Hampshire. Well, will Mr. O'Reilly be right? Is he a 2-state pony? Tough times ahead for Bernie, I think, coming up in South Carolina and Nevada.
I think that bowling could really mess up your curling game. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, for Villanova, here's Jed Dale.
And I think he's the UPenn. He's their UPenn
Yep. So out of
spare.
Penn.
Yep.
You can see has the Penn sweatshirt. That's a good key usually. He's a sophomore. He's a geology major. He's been curling for 2 years. He's interested in swimming, tennis, and again, I think it says curling here or clamming. Not sure. What do you think?
Clamming would be interesting.
Yeah. Or is that curling?
I think it's bad handwriting. It says clamming.
That's what I think it says.
Yeah, and these 2 M's, right? It looks like claiming. But
Claiming, or
yeah.
clamming, or curling. He's all set to be a doctor with that handwriting. And
that looks like curling.
no, say
Oh.
hello to William.
Looks like curling. Carlin.
Is that Bill?
Yeah.
So he says, say hello to William Carlin.
I have to use my exam reading eyes to read
Yeah.
that stuff. That's pretty scratchy handwriting.
So Elizabeth came down. Did she draw behind or did she guard? I wasn't
They
paying
made a
attention.
little hit and roll
Okay.
and got tucked under. So they're behind T line
Yeah, they
though.
should.
So they're going to try to
Here's
freeze. This one looks hot. There seems to be no shortage of curl left or right on this sheet as we look down the ice. Coming the other direction, on the other side of the sheet, the curl seems to be a lot less pronounced. At least it was coming back toward the glass.
Hey, in the second stones now, this is Aaron Bailey, sophomore, majoring in Met. I have no idea what that is.
MET.
Years curling is 3, interest curling, skiing, kayaking, and hiking.
It's got to be mechanical engineering, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, probably.
That's our story, and we're sticking to it. And that's just a pip of a draw. I would have to say that's about as good as you could get. They couldn't have picked up the stone, carried it down the ice, and
Beautiful
placed it
shot.
any better. Top button buried behind the guard and sandwiched between that and the stone in the back 4.
Again, just playing 6 ends in this Bonspiel, all games, even the final, which will be coming up at 4:30 today. Okay, here's Alex Ratajczyk. He's a junior, finance and management major. Because his first year curling, likes water polo, judo, soccer, and snowball fights. Tells us to say hello to his mom, dad, and Nick. out
And
there.
another
Hopefully they're
fine
watching.
shot. Beautiful freeze tap. Leaves Villanova sitting 1. Push both of the SUNY Polystones to the back of the forefoot. So those are catchers for any attempt to remove the yellow rock. They're going to try to push this back.
Did I have the order wrong? No. I got it right.
Sweeping this really hard. Looks like a pretty good shot. They may get this over the top, and they do. They squirt it right over the top. Beautifully done. Lots of smiles after that shot.
That's a beauty.
Very difficult shot to remove that stone without catching on your back
It's like
ones.
pro percentages on this end so far. Roger.
That's about 4 or 5 or 6 shots in a row. They were pretty good. But there is a possibility to suck one around again to set up your deuce. for Villanova. Those 2 stones in the back 4 are still potential liabilities.
John comes running out to help his front end.
And this is curling really hard.
And it's light.
And just too light. That'll turn the advantage back over to SUNY Poly. If they can get around this guard, then they'll be in the driver's seat. The guard here is fine. I like sticking the knife in a little bit, come around top 8 here, and I think they'll just be in a world of hurt.
Right. So Roger's saying, bring the draw in, but how deep do you want to draw it?
Not too deep because you don't want to leave that button area open. I think top
right
8,
there.
right around in there, and that just make life miserable. Get maybe a quarter to half tucked under that yellow guard. Leave them to pin, maybe a little bit.
Here comes Breland Twitchell. She's also a freshman. Biology major. 13 years curling. You mentioned she curled out of Rochester.
A junior out of Rochester for many years.
Interested in drawing, curling, fencing, and NASCAR. Says, say hello to Rochester Curling Club. We had some folks on in this morning's draw in the chat.
Yeah, again, Breland was just a hair wide on that, but does the job. I think it closes down the port. There's no draw there. And Nova is sufficiently
John wants looking
concerned.
to hit it out.
They're going to get rid of this rock.
Or is he trying to drive it back into the pile?
I think you just want. Well, it could. I mean, that's the danger is though. You might make it better if you drive it into the pile.
Weight looks pretty good though. Pretty decent up weight hit. John calls him off. You can hear that. We'll try to crank the mic up a little bit.
And it's going to be more or less a nose hit here. It's going to catch one.
Spilled.
And it spilled some rocks around.
Yeah, so all these rocks behind the tee, so no real danger as
long as you can get to them. That's the problem.
Right, just to have a path. Right now there's a path. Both on the...
well, I think you got to... Blake is looking at the side of the sheet, but the shot rock is absolutely wide open.
Yeah.
And Breland's calling down and saying she can see all of the shot rock, and they're going to change that call and plug the hole. I think that's the right call.
That was Maria Lynn. It just threw. A sophomore, public relations major.
And a good outcome for that. She scattered a bunch of rocks.
Maria's interested in photography. Photographer from Texas says hello to Dan and Gina out there. They may be watching.
Just looking for a guard here. Again, this is wide again. And heavy. And that did not help. That's going to raise another yellow end. So this sets up a potential deuce. Yellow is now second rock.
They are at second. Blake taking a look at it, but from our vantage point, these
looks
cameras
second,
right. Our cameras are not directly over the house. We're thinking this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3rd. What are the percentages of steel and hammer at this level, Rod? Is it really a coin flip in any end?
I would guess that the steel percentages are probably higher in this level of curling.
About a ballpark, maybe 55, 45?
Yeah, maybe 40% or better.
Yeah. So it's even low. I would think it's even higher, but maybe not.
That was not a pretty delivery, but now it's going to over curled.
I think too bad. Yeah, she didn't have any rotation on it. I think she recovered okay from falling, but just I've done that. I did that the other night in the league. But that's usually what happens. You don't put any rotation on it. But still not a horrible looking house here. I mean, that's
no. They're still shot, I think.
I didn't see what happened. So what happened?
They wrecked on the guard and didn't really change anything. Okay. So.
But there's shot rock.
Well, they wrecked on the guard,
Yeah,
and I
what
guess they
happened
drove
there?
something
Yeah.
through, right?
I was,
They must have driven the guard onto the shot rock. Excuse me, takeout. They're planning on the raise here. This is coming up, and this looks pretty good. They're just going to squirt in the open again.
nice weight, though, by Blake.
Yeah, just squirted it
That
right
tap.
into the open.
Yep. It's a little wide on the attempted tap.
I actually think they're trying to draw around, and it just overcurled
Oh,
on them.
okay.
They went to plan B and didn't get as much curl as they needed. Chance for a deuce here. I think a nose hit might be sitting 2. Hard to tell with our camera angle again. But if Nova makes a nose hit here and Blake makes a nose hit back, then the third hit will definitely not be shot. So a draw will be in order.
He's all over this.
And he's going to get, might have left it too late. It needed to be swept. Needed to be swept. So, still sitting only 1, we think. Villanova still sitting only 1. So, Blake Hagberg throwing the last rock for Suni Polly. Needs to put this one in. If you get around that center guard, shot rock, he has a chance to steal the end or certainly force Nova into making another save. Saying they think it's heavy, but it actually looks pretty good to me. No, I think they're right. It was definitely a little heavy. They needed a little tick. Thought that was going to check up for them. So I think this is going to be a draw for 2. If we believe our camera angles, this should be a draw for 2 for Villanova.
A quick update for sheet 5, Raj. You see what's happening there? I know we're through 5 ends, right?
Yeah, they hadn't posted the N4 score.
I think it's 3-2. Sorry, I got a little behind on the scoreboard for those of you following the other games on the other sheets.
It is 3-2. Penn
Hammer
is up over
red with a hammer. RPI?
Yeah,
Okay.
RPI with the hammer.
And sheet 6 is, they blanked the 4th end.
They blanked the 4th end, and I don't know what happened to 3rd end. Oh, there's the 3rd end. Yeah, it's 4-1.
4-1.
The 4th end was blanked.
So that one's up to date. So here's the last rock in the end for.
And they don't like what they're looking at. Skip is moving the broom. Tightened up the broom a little bit. So we're going to play the outturn draw around the right side of the center guard to try to pick up their deuce.
John Prosperi, last stone.
Looked like he was really tight.
A little heavy.
Not sure what he was trying to do there. Was he trying to hit the stone and roll in? I don't get that shot. I think just a straight draw was where he wanted to be on this. They may measure these. Nope, they're going to kick them away. So.
One yellow.
Well, that's what I was calling it. So actually, they agreed it was Blake. So SUNY Poly steals one. Still think I'm drawing there with my last shot.
Yeah.
I think the hit and roll is very tough. You got to roll a long way to score. So again, our camera angles being a little deceiving. It makes the stones in the back of the house look worse than they are, and the stones in the front look better than they are. My usual rule with skip rocks is when you throw your last rock, you generally want to be throwing something light. You want to keep your stone around. If you're throwing a choice between a hit and a draw, if you think you can make the draw, you should really throw the draw.
Plus bring your sweepers into play.
Yeah, and you want to keep your shooter around. So a missed heavyweight shot is going to roll out or go through.
So again, sheet 5, the other A semifinal. We'll keep close tabs on that one for you.
And that's a tight one in the last end with RPI down 1 with the hammer. So SUNY Poly's up 3 last end without hammer. They can actually throw through. This is a good spot to throw through. They actually called for one in the house and went through, so no harm done. The main job for SUNY Poly is just not to give up 3 here. You can still give up a deuce and win this game.
So Hamilton 1 over on sheet 1. We just updated the scoreboard. So Hamilton 2 scored 1 in the 5th end, but they're up 4 with hammer. So in control of that game. Hamilton 1.
Hamilton 1 in good control, yep.
Is it 6-4? I may have an incorrect score. I apologize for that. 6-4 on sheet 2?
6-4 on sheet 2.
Okay, so I apologize for that. They're still playing the 5th end. I had RIT 2 with 4. Sorry, RIT fan, Tammy out there in the chat if you're still following.
We have a final on sheet 4. Colgate 2 has won 8-2 after 5.
So congrats to, so again, the online draw board. Go out to our website, uticacurlingclub.org. Right on the homepage under members, news, and notices, you'll see Roger has a link to the live draw board there, live draw results. And a great, great crowd here, Roger. I think it's the largest crowd I've seen, yeah. Especially considering the weather. It's about 2 degrees outside, 10 degree below wind chill.
Hey, a perfect day to be inside the warm room watching curling, right? Not as good a day to be outdoors skiing or.
Supposed to go tomorrow, but I passed up on it. It's supposed to be 4 tomorrow.
Villanova's playing a hit on this rock. They need to score 3 this end. I'd be freezing to everything I could. They're hoping for a miss. Usually when you're down a bunch, the way to get it back is just to freeze to everything you can see. Keep your rocks in play. You either got to throw guards or freezes to score a bigger end. SUNY Poly can make their hits. It'll be hard for Nova to build up an end. This looks like it's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's a nice shot.
Really nice weight by the SUNY Poly second. Takes that right out. Keep in mind, these guys have only curled for like, here's a 0.45 years, which is what one of them said.
Aaron Bailey. He's in his 3rd year of curling.
Oh, really? Okay, so he's the one guy who's curled before.
What is the SUNY Poly nickname, college nickname? Like your college, what's the nickname? What is it? Wildcats, okay.
Ah.
So it's a battle of the Wildcats. SUNY Poly Wildcats.
And that freeze attempt goes wide by Villanova. It goes off the sheet, actually.
And some guys from the other SUNY Poly team here taking some photos and watching, cheering on their teammates. What do you think? Looking good for this game? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, they're all heads are just confident looks.
I think they're throwing this one through, and that's a good call. You don't really need any more rocks in play. They're just freeze targets.
Okay, so they're playing the last end over there on sheet 5. And we'll just keep you updated.
Yeah, in the A semifinal, they're playing the last end. Penn is without Hammer, sitting 2 in the top 12. RPI 2 is just clearing those stones in the top 12. If they can't get a deuce, they'll probably just try to get their extra end. Oh, and they flashed.
Really don't need anything in play here. Just chuck it through.
Yeah. They're throwing through, and they threw the wrong handle, but it doesn't really matter much. But Skip Blake Hagberg was emphasizing, no, the other turn. Doesn't matter, successfully thrown through. It's a game of attrition now. Villanova's got 4 rocks left. They need to score 3 of them. So they're going to have to leave something exposed to hit in these next 4 rocks. I don't think they can guard or freeze all 4. This one's, again, another freeze attempt, but it's a little heavy.
But this one's going to stay in play.
Will stay in play, but it'll be wide open.
Right.
Playing an inside-out turn on this. This could turn on them. This will curl. Need to be a little careful. Breland can bring the weight. As soon as this gets over the center line, it'll come really hard. This looks just fine.
Who did this team lose to in the early draw? Do you know? Poly won?
They lost their second game. They won. It were MIT big in their first game. And this morning they were a bit sluggish. They didn't hardly make a shot.
Pretty solid lineup here, though.
Well, Villanova has to score all 3 rocks here. I don't think I'd be hitting. I think I'd be freezing. Got to put some rocks where they can't be removed. And this is going to roll out. That should be the end of the game. Out of rocks.
So congratulations to SUNY Polytechnic Institute. Team 1. Victorious by a score of 5-2.
And they're on to the C final.
Sheet 2 is just, looks like they just completed the 5th end, now 8-4. So stealing 2.
Taking a commanding lead.
Yeah. Yale stole 2 in the 5th. Hammer stays with RIT 2, but tough task ahead of them. Score 4 more in the 6th end. Sheet 6, Raj, what's an update over there? They're in the 6th end.
5-2 after 5 for Colgate 1.
So RPI 1 did steal 1 in the 5th. No, 5-1. Right?
5-1, yeah. Colgate's up.
Had that right. Okay. So that one seems to be in hand.
We're down to the last 3 rocks in the Penn and RPI 2A semifinal game. Penn is sitting 4, 2 on the side of the 4-foot, wide open.
There you go. The etiquette of curling, the good sportsmanship.
Yep.
Everyone's shaking hands after a well-played game. So check your online draw board. Only 4 teams will be sitting out the final. 16 teams here. We'll have all 6 sheets going at 4:30. MJ, is she pushing up the start of the final, or?
Not that I'm aware of.
The weather looks good on the East Coast for everyone for tomorrow morning, so, or even tonight. Just cold, but.
So RPI 2 trying to move those rocks on the 4-foot, and they make a beautiful hit and roll for shot. Question is, are they wide open?
Yeah,
and I think they are.
Should I swivel the camera over there? There's only 2 stones remaining, so we'll just radio curling, Raj, if we could, for sheet 4.
So RPI removed, actually threw it 2 stones on the 4-foot, scattered them to the back of the house, and then rolled for shot rock on the back 4.
Here's a picture of the SUNY Poly team.
Yeah.
We had it up there as well.
Cody Klauser is in the hack with his last rock, and he's attempting to come through a port to remove shot rock from the back 4 between 2 of his own stones.
Oh, look at that shot.
And a nice shot.
That's a U.S. Nationals quality shot. So what we have over here, just so you know, is 5 rocks in play over on sheet 5. So really just somewhere to tie the game up for RPI 2.
RPI 2 thinks they can
Seeley.
repeat that same shot, come through the port and take out shot rock to score their 1 and get to the extra end. So final rock for RPI 2. This is to get to the extra end. Throwing a hit against 5. Hit shot rock. They score their 1 and play on to live another day in an extra end. Sweeping it really hard. And they're all over it. Will they hang around? Will they hang around? No, they was overswept.
Made a great shot through the port.
Overswept, and that rolls just too far.
Yep. So that's our final setup.
That's 4. That's
Penn,
a 4 spot for Penn.
Penn stole 4 in the last end to win the game 7-2. So
And a well-fought game. I mean, tight game right down to the last rock.
Oh, Cody already got his TV time all week. So
That's right.
That should be a good night. Can you handicap the RIT? Have you seen them play, Raj? Sean White's team?
They were very sharp earlier today. So
we'll stay on until sheet 6 is winding down here. Colgate 1, RPI 1. I'll just sign off, Raj. I think we'll be back on the air in 45. I don't think, we'll just confirm for those fans out there, the red is down 4 over on sheet 6, and they do have 2 in the rings that are counting. So I suppose it is possible. Should we stay on? I guess we can.
they've only got 1 rock left, so they got to figure out to
okay.
get 2 in, right? So I think Colgate 1 has probably got this in hand unless there's some sort of miracle. They have to split in 2 reds and be in the 4-foot.
Yeah, oh no, that's that game.
So I think that's impossible. And I think on sheet 1, Hamilton 1 is in control, and they just I think they've sealed that one up as well.
Yeah, C2 is over. That's the final.
Yale takes that game.
Yep. Let's stay on to the end. What the heck. I just remember last year you turned it around real quick because of the blizzard.
Right.
I'd like to take a little bit of break here.
Yeah, I'm sure these guys would like a break before their next game.
A
so
little 20-minute break would be great.
A little recovery time. I actually think Hamilton 2 is out of rocks, so they can rip the Velcro on sheet 1. Hamilton 1 is going to win.
Yeah, they're playing it out, the game.
By at least 7-1.
Just to get the experience, these two teams.
7-1 margin. So let's make it
7-2, actually.
7-2 margin, yep. What?
Oh, Villanova. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
they don't have enough registrants, so they're not even eligible. They didn't register enough team members.
We had the chart up, so you're all set.
Yeah, I don't think they did because they knew they were.
Well, they had to do it back in January, so they wouldn't have known.
So Blake's stopping by just to make sure he's going to be going to Chaska, and he is. Congratulations to Blake.
Yep.
And SUNY Poly. So
I think they're looking strong to maintain their
finals.
position.
All right, so that'll do it, Raj. So we're going to be signing off, and check your YouTube channel. We'll have a brand new stream opening up at 4:30 for the finals. It's going to be RIT versus Penn for the finals of the event.
And the draw board will be updated shortly.